I regret my vote. I never thought I'd say that, but I regret my vote.
I regret my vote. I regret my vote. No, you don't. What you regret is that your vote didn't hurt and impact the people the most that you wanted it to. What you regret is that your vote is impacting you and hurting your families and your livelihoods. But if it was only hurting black and brown people and disproportionate people and people who are really at the bottom of the totem pole the most, you wouldn't regret your vote. You would have been like, yeah, I stand by what I did. You're mad that you're getting hurt when you tried to screw us first. You don't regret your vote. You don't regret your vote at all.
So have we seen this guy here? So evidently he is a Trump supporter. He voted for Trump all 3 times, and he has a small business where he exports, I guess, wheels from China, and he is upset because the new tariffs that have been placed on China will drastically hurt his business. So he took to TikTok and complained about that. And then when people said, well, I'm sorry, you fucked around and found out, this is the find out part, he came back on and crying, well, not literally crying, but complaining and whining about how people are taking joy in him and his family suffering.
Honest and fair question. What did you expect? What did you expect making a TikTok saying that you voted for Trump and now because of the tariffs, your business is going to go out of business and you're asking for people on TikTok to help you? I think what's sad for me is it wasn't the fact that he is a misogynistic, sexist, rapist who really has it out for women. That wasn't enough. It wasn't that he's racist and has spewed racist hate, Latino hate, African-American hate. None of that mattered. Like, it didn't matter to you until your pocketbook, your bottom line was affected. So again, what did you expect? I mean, it was pretty brave of you to admit that and to come on and make a TikTok like that. But did you really expect for everyone on TikTok to be like, oh no, I'm so sorry. Here's a Cash App. Here's some advice. No, you fucked around. And now you're finding out. And it's not just that you voted for somebody and now your business is hurt. It's that you didn't fucking care until your business was hurt. That's the fucking issue. I don't feel sorry for you one bit. Love you, Slayers.
Hey y'all, so I've been seeing it float around that there are some Magas who actually do regret voting the way that they did. And what I have to say about that is good. Because honestly, the more you regret the thing that you've done, the more uncomfortable it is for you to sit with it, the more likely you are to remember this for next time. Maybe you're finally going to admit to yourself, I was wrong. Maybe you're finally going to admit to yourself, other people were right. Maybe you're going to admit to yourself, I made a huge mistake. I never should have done that. Maybe you will finally admit to yourself, I got taken in. I fell for a con. Maybe also you will admit to yourself that you don't care about anyone or anything unless it directly involves you. Maybe you'll finally admit that all of the people who were fighting for the cushy life that you had been living are the exact people whose lives you voted against. Maybe you'll finally realize how complacent you'd become. And maybe you'll finally realize, yeah, you know what? I actually was/am racist. Maybe you'll finally admit that you had been living with bigotry and racism up until that point, or maybe even now still. And maybe you're going to finally realize that what we're all facing now, you included, is not how we want to live. So yes, good. Regret it. Be uncomfortable. Sit with that because nobody's going to have any sympathy for you. You're going to sit with that all alone and you're going to have to face some hard truths. And I really, really hope that this experience changes you for the better. Because honestly, if it doesn't, then you kind of truly are a lost cause. Meanwhile, everybody else, what do we get to say? I told you so.
This is so true. They cheered and celebrated policies meant to hurt other people, but now the same policies are now affecting their businesses, their jobs, their healthcare, and their wallets, and now they seek sympathy. But empathy cannot exist only when the consequences become personal. So let's get to see more. Please like and hype the video, and let me know your thoughts in the comments, alright? Let's get into it.
Don't listen to the Democrats. I promise you, not a single Republican is regretting voting for Donald Trump. I've been seeing this weird rhetoric all over my For You page over the past couple of weeks because I think that a lot of you guys are starting to watch Candace Owens and her podcast recently. No, we don't. 100,000 fucking 52%. We do not regret voting for Donald Trump.
Au contraire, I've come across at least 50 videos in the past 20 minutes just looking briefly of people who regret voting for Trump and who regret MAGA. Candace Owens being the number one culprit in this is hilarious to me, and this made my week, especially since tomorrow is Juneteenth. And I have to share it with you guys because they're now regretting it, and too little, too late.
I never thought that I would see a day where I would be rooting for a university above Donald J. Trump and his administration. But I don't recognize his administration right now. I don't recognize what's happening. How could Trump be such a free speech enthusiast and allowing these things to happen?
Stupid bitches get stitches. Y'all hoes better quit playing with me.
I'm Hispanic and I vote for Mr. Trump. We vote for Mr. Trump. Yes!
Beyond betrayed. They used us.
We as Muslims stand with President Trump because he promises peace. He promises peace, not war.
Wow, the pressure is getting worse.
You voted for Donald Trump.
I did.
Do you regret that vote?
Yes, I do.
If you could say anything to President Trump now, what would you say?
I expected that you would do what was right doing that. You're creating a disaster, and I don't know what America's going to look like if this continues.
They took my wife. This man who wished not to be identified says his wife is from Venezuela and has lived in...
So I admit, I regret my vote for Donald Trump. I regret it because I needed these choices. I needed the prices to go down sooner so that I didn't drain out my bank account.
Not clicking. What's not clicking? What's not clicking?
This is exactly what I voted for. That is a comment I just read several times on a post I made regarding the man being unalived by federal agents in Maine. You're telling me when you went into the voting booth and marked down that you wanted Donald J. Trump as President of the United States, you were voting for him because you wanted people to be unalived in the streets of the United States of America by federal agents, aka people who are paid by your tax dollars. I sure hope the people that are saying that this is exactly what I voted for never ever wonder if somebody cuts them off in their life. Because personally, I would never ever want to associate myself or be friends with people that think it is okay to use your voting power to make sure that people are unalived in the streets. To that matter, why would anyone want to be friends with people that think that that is okay and that should be normal?
The people that are cheering on ICE executing people, especially the one that just happened in Maine, are the exact same people that are clutching their pearls and sobbing about how everyone is cutting them out of their lives, how people are getting divorced from them, how they don't want to be in relationships with them, how they are cutting them off from their friend groups and their family, and they 100% deserve it.
Trump voters were warned for years. Millions of people, they tried to warn them. They said that policies affect healthcare, education, workers' rights, women's rights, immigration, international relationship, prices, and even the economy. And those warnings were being repeated over and over again, you see, by people who had already experienced the effects. But many Trump voters, they rejected all those warnings, Some even mocked the warnings and laughed at the warnings. Many believed the suffering would only happen to other people. They believed minorities were the ones who are going to lose the rights, while their own rights would be protected, you see. They believed the cuts would only happen to people they looked down on, you see. They also believed that tariffs would only punish other countries without raising prices for the American consumers. And this is not how policies work. Policies affect everybody. Once implemented, policies don't care to ask whether you voted for Trump, you see, whether you wore a Maga hat, whether you attended a rally. They affect everyone. And I hope people can understand that elections are not about hurting someone else. They should be about what kind of a country people want to build together. But the problem in America, too many people, they vote out of resentment, fear, culture wars, politics, instead of responsibility. Elections really do matter, and every policy has winners and even losers. Politicians, they make promises during the campaign, but the voters, they have a responsibility to examine those policies and decide what's good for them and for other people. You should not just follow a politician blindly, because blind loyalty is so dangerous. No politician deserves unconditional support, because politicians, they work for the people and not the other way around, and they should be judged according to results, you see. So thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.